So this is my second take because I recorded the video, and then when I played it back on my computer, I couldn't hear anything. So no audio. So I'm just uploading like this, no editing, nothing fancy, all in. Um, a 6 out of 10 pay-per-view. It's a 6 out of 10. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't awful though. Like it was still some cool moments. Still some good spots. I think my biggest complaint is how long it went. Like it actually, like the main show was 6 hours. The pre-show was 2, with an hour of wrestling. Half the other hour with analysis, which was cool. But I think the 9 matches on the main show, 2 of those could have been used on the pre-show, and the other 3 matches on the pre-show could have been used on a Dynamite or Collision. Like the Outrunners didn't need a rematch against FTR, not on a pay-per-view. RPG Vice, Lance Archer, Hecacero, they didn't need to lose to Team Big Boom AJ. The Shane Taylor Promotions, the Sons of Texas, they could have been a Ring of Honor match, because that's what they're featured consistently. So like those didn't have to be on the main card. But really, the things I had the biggest problems with is, because and this is my honest opinion, so I'm gonna start with the things I had the biggest problems with first, which was the opening match. The Ops vs. Death Riders was a cool match, but it's not something that should be an opener. This is more like a pre-show type of match. I guess a good match for a pre-show or for a middle of the card, but this shouldn't be an opening match. And the Ops retained, then Samoa Joe was took out by the Death Riders, so I'm like, where are they gonna go with this? I mean, Hook could probably come back and join them, because they writing them off for now. So it's gonna be interesting. Do they just keep doing this to try to get the titles away from them, but somebody else steps in each time? But I don't know what they're gonna do with this. The Men's Casino Gauntlet was it was weird because they based it around 2 people and made it obvious that MJF was gonna win. Like MJF was not losing this match. If he would have lost, that wouldn't have made sense. That would have been a dumb decision, because you based this entire match around him. Dustin Rhodes and MJF should have won, but it was very predictable, which I didn't like. I think it should have been more unpredictable. Next thing I had a problem with, and this is the first 3 matches. Yes, the first 3 matches, and Don Callis family went on 3 after this, and that Okada match does not count for Don Callis. No, it's not part, because Don Callis can help Okada, but he can't help Cal Fletcher. That don't even make sense. He's been with Cal Fletcher longer, has a way better story with Cal Fletcher. He turned on Will Ospreay to join Cal Fletcher, so how is he helping Okada more? Just because he's fighting Kenny Omega now? So you got him a title match before you could get Cal Fletcher a title match? Like Cal Fletcher fought for the title before this match was made official, but Cal Fletcher got screwed in that match by Don Callis by causing interference. And then he didn't even get involved in this match, so he didn't want to help him at all, but he'll help Okada win later in the night? Come on, man. Don Callis, I don't know what this story is. You had prayers up to Adam Cole, out with an injury. I don't know for how long, had to give up the TNT title. But Daniel Garcia, Dustin Rhodes, Cal Fletcher, and Sammy Guevara. Dustin Rhodes, the oldest guy here, and you give him the TNT title? He's already a Ring of Honor Tag Champion with Sammy Guevara, already a Ring of Honor Trios Champion with Von Erichs, and now he's a TNT Singles Champion. So now he's on Ring of Honor and AEW. I mean, as him being on both brands is fine. The problem is he's fighting in 3 different divisions. You can't be fighting in the singles, tag, and trios divisions. Number 1, that doesn't make sense, and number 2, bound for more injuries, because now you're wrestling on a more consistent basis, gonna be featured more consistently. So it's like, what? That's so stupid. And you built such a great story with Cal Fletcher, with the Don Callis family, with him turning on Will Ospreay, his best friend, and now this is what you have for him? Losing a match like this, not being able to go over in this match, lowering his odds of winning after Adam Cole goes down with an injury? What are we doing here? Oh my goodness. Oh. But sticking to the things I had problems with, because the things that I enjoyed, I'm going to get back to at the end of the video. I'm going to circle back to that. But the Hurt Syndicate versus Jet Speed versus Patriarchy, this match was cool. I didn't like the bumps. I didn't like the spots from Nick Wayne. I felt like those spots were super dangerous and dumb. And that's why having good veteran presence is important. Because I don't know, and maybe I don't know if Christian Cage approved of this. Maybe he did, since he was going to turn his back on him later. So when Nick Wayne turns back on him, so maybe he did approve, so he didn't. But I don't know who approved of this for him to do some of these spots, but they look super dangerous. He was lucky that Shelton Benjamin caught him, because if he didn't, it could have went really wrong. But the match was cool. I feel like it would have went a lot longer than it should have too. But her saying to retain this, it should have. Nick Wayne turned on Christian Cage without surprise by, but Kip Sapien is even more surprising because he's still on Team Nick Wayne, still with Mother Wayne, and then Adam Copeland comes back, and then he gets everybody out the ring except for Christian, and he tells Christian to go find himself. So they're gonna build up the story for a little bit. So I do like that. I think that's a good idea to build up the story like that, build it up a little bit. Then, yeah, I already talked about the Okada thing. Don Callis can help Okada, but not Cal Fletcher. Like, Okada shouldn't have won that match. He didn't even do nothing with the Continental Championship. So what is he finna do with the unified titles now? I don't even remember the name of it, but man. And then Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné. It was a great match. I just think Mercedes should have won. Mercedes had a dope entrance. Her entrance with the Texas Rangers girls, with them having her titles on, then Mercedes wearing the robe with all the people's names that she's been since she's been in AEW. Like, that was super dope. Like, that was a cool match. That was a cool entrance. And then Toni Storm, her entrance, it was solid. But I enjoyed this match. The three Storm Zeros that Toni hit, was unnecessary. Shouldn't have hit 3 back to back to back if she wasn't gonna win the match. What's the point of that? Because you still had to hit another one later to end up winning the match. So it's like, and you hit one off the second rope. So if you really had to do 3 back to back to back. So yeah, that was quite interesting. But it was a good match overall. It was a great match. But Swerve and Ospreay versus the Bucks, the 4th match on the main card, that match definitely helped pick up the show, because that was amazing. That was probably match of the night, or second best match of the night. I put Toni and versus Mercedes 3rd, because this match was amazing. I think it was a lot of cool spots. All 4 guys had cool entrances. Obviously, the Young Bucks stayed there together. The Founding Fathers on the boat, like, that was super cool. That was dope to see. JoJo Siwa sang Swerve Strickland's old theme song. Will Ospreay had a pretty cool entrance. So I from start to finish, I was rocking with the match. Like, I think the timing was pretty good. I think the finish was overused a little bit, especially towards the end. But I think it was fine, because it was so much on the line, and it was so important that it would determine the future of AEW for the next year, and it'll be like put them in a really weird spot. So I understand why it took so much. Then the women's with Swerve and Ospreay went over, and this match got the win. That's what it should have. Now the Young Bucks no longer have power. I no longer have to call them the EVP Bucks, as I've been referring to them as. Well, I never had to begin with, but I just like saying it since that was their title at the time. But and the women's Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal, that was super fun. It was way more unpredictable than the men's match. Which the men's match was super unpredictable. Like I said, it was super predictable. Like, it was based around MJF winning. I don't even remember if I talked about it in this video, because like I said, I had to re-record this. But MJF, he was the only realistic option. So him winning, that was cool. But it's like, and then Juice Robinson coming back, that was dope too. But the women's, it was way more unpredictable. You had the powerhouses going at it. You had the managers on the outside with like Harley Cameron coming back, Anna Jay, Penelope Ford, Sky Blue. Even though they weren't in the match, they still made an appearance, and they still did something of significance. Even though it's not a super lot, they still did something. Then Athena ended up getting the win, so the forever champion of Ring of Honor is gonna be back on AEW soon. Because I think once she hits 1,000 days, she'll probably lose it to Billie Starkz, which would be perfect. Or she just relinquish it once she wins the women's world title. But she'll probably cash in on Toni Storm. She's gonna be strategic with it. It's not gonna be something random like, or it's not gonna be like right before. She gonna know when to cash in. And then the main event was amazing. Hangman versus Jon Moxley. This was an amazing match. It's so much to talk about in Texas Death for the second time between these two. trading blows instantly. Page made sure to go for Moxley's head immediately with the fork to bust him open. Moxley, he started putting the barbed wire around Page's neck. Marina Shafir got involved. She ended up going through a table. Then Hangman was leading at one point. Moxley did a power driver onto glass to Hangman. Then Hangman sent Moxley through both chairs to that harder part of the chair when they're both sitting up back to back to each other. Wheeler Yuta got involved. Claudio came out there. You had Swerve, Prince Nana. They came out there to help to stop the Young Bucks. Gabe Kidd came out there. Bryan Danielson gave a Psycho knee, or yeah, he gave Psycho knee to Wheeler Yuta, if I'm not mistaken, to get a little bit of revenge. So they're gonna do, or was it to Moxley? I'm not sure, but they're gonna revisit that for sure. Darby Allin came back, which I was excited to see. People suggested him coming back as a heel, which that was really stupid. Why would he do that? Why would he want Moxley to win? So he came back to help out, did his thing. Shout out Darby Allin. That was a good return. I enjoyed that. And Hangman ended up getting the win in the end. It was a lot of shenanigans, but this match was fun. This match was amazing. And other matches that took place earlier played a part into this. Now the Death Riders are all of them have no gold. The Young Bucks aren't in power anymore. Danielson and Darby are back. And Swerve and Ospreay can challenge for the world title at any time. It was so much that led up to this match and what was going to happen. And they did a great job executing this. And everybody that was involved made sense, who had history with these people in this match to an extent. So it's like Darby and Moxley, they're going to run that back probably. Danielson versus Wheeler Yuta, unless they turn on Yuta, and Danielson is the one that saves him, and he has to convince Darby Allin that he can trust him. Or maybe they do a story with that, and Bronson kindness cost him, and Wheeler Yuta gets taken out, but it's a fake. To convince Danielson that he isn't with the Death Riders anymore. The whole time it's just playing. I'm like, there's so much they can do now that Hangman is the champion. Now that the Young Bucks have no more power, the Death Riders don't have any gold. So that first segment on Dynamite, it's going to be interesting because I don't know who's starting it. But this is Dynamite. This falls on Wednesday. It's going to be, like, I give this pay-per-view a 6 out of 10. I do think it should have been a bit better because Double or Nothing was better. I gave Double or Nothing an 8 out of 10. So I wish it would have been on that same level, or at least like a 7, but 6, it was alright. It wasn't the best pay-per-view. Definitely wasn't the worst. It could have been better, but leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comment what y'all thought, and share it for others to see. But let me know what y'all thought of the pay-per-view and what y'all would rate it. But yeah, peace out.